to welcome to everyone who's taken just a few minutes of this Tuesday evening just to join us. And it always makes me smile when I see this many people getting on a call, because it just tells me that you guys are very proactive with your health. And I'm excited just to share some information this evening that hopefully you can take with you on whatever level you want to take, and just want to introduce you to our healthy living community. I'm gonna share the screen, and 1 second here, and we are going to get started. The Healthy Living Revolution is a community of people who have just come together and are focusing on health and nutrition and being proactive with their health. And so we are excited that you are here with us this evening. Healthy living used to be simple. Today, I think it's a little bit more challenging, and I'm going to take 1 second here and see. There we go. It's taking a little time for some pictures to populate there. But when I think about when I was a kid and healthy living and what that looked like, life seemed so much simpler. I don't know about you, but you know, my dad would have a garden and we enjoyed the garden. I hated working in the garden, but I loved eating what came from the garden. And so we ate mostly off that garden, and it was just simple. We played outside, we came in when it was dark, and life was simple, but it looks a lot different today. You know, and I kind of feel like it's my kids' generation where we saw this huge shift, but I guess every generation kind of feels that way, and that my kids' generation probably ate out a lot more, didn't get home cooked meals. And most certainly, I know my kids didn't eat anything from the garden ever. Just probably in the last 10 years did we start having a garden, and a tower garden that we ate fresh fruits and vegetables. So life isn't as simple as what it used to be. And consequently, we're beginning to see the challenges with our health because of our faster paced stress lives that we live today. It's not quite as simple as it used to be. And well, now I'm seeing why the pictures didn't show up. I think I'm not sure why it's taken this long to populate. There we go. So let me ask you a question. How are you taking care of you today? I think it's a bigger challenge, like I said, than it did when we were younger. But here's a couple questions I want to ask. Are you eating real food? You know, it was probably in my early 30s that I really started understanding what the term whole food meant. It seems so simple now after 20 years of hearing it, but back then I really wasn't even aware of what the term whole food nutrition really meant. And simply put, it's just eating what we were intended to eat, those fruits and vegetables. How about exercise? How are you doing with exercise? Drinking water. I think probably most Americans were drinking more water, I think, than used to. I think our awareness has been heightened a good bit, but still we're probably falling pretty short and replacing a lot of water with things that we shouldn't be drinking. And then that last one that is an easy offender for me, and that is not getting that 7 to 8 hours of sleep and really giving my body a chance to repair and regenerate, and for the food throughout the day to digest and toxins to get out of my system. That sleeping is huge. And so many times, I know personally, I'm an offender of not getting those 7 to 8 hours of sleep in. So there are two startling trends in our world today, and we're going to just kind of briefly talk about them. The first one is, it's just environmental toxins are increasing. You know, we kind of talk about what we personally are responsible for and how we can easily fall short with that just because of the world that we live in today. But now you put on top of that is environmental toxins and how they're increasing. And there are two places that when I go, I'm reminded of this, just the toxins that we're breathing in. The first one is when I travel home. I'm from the Midwest. I grew up in Ohio, and I grew up in what's called the Mid-Ohio Valley, and it's right on the West Virginia-Ohio border. And I remember each time I'm reminded when I fly into Ohio, drive in, kind of come over that bridge, that West Virginia-Ohio bridge, and literally from that track to where I grew up, I will pass probably 3, maybe even 4 chemical plants. And it always just totally blows my mind when I'm driving by seeing all this smoke going into the air. And I've heard it said many times in that Mid-Ohio Valley area that ALS, that disease, is 400% higher than the nation's average. And every time I drive by these chemical plants, I can't help but think it has something to do with those chemical plants. Now, I live in Atlanta, and when I come up over the hill, I live on south of Atlanta. I come up over this hill and head in toward downtown Atlanta. All I see, and those of you who are in Atlanta, is just literally almost like fumes in the air. It's wild that you see it. And I can't help but think that has to do with the airport and just the congestion. And I'm thinking, this is the world we're living in. And it's scary when you're thinking about it and you actually see it in front of your eyes. So that's one of the things. So we've got what we're doing or not doing personally. We've got this heavy toxin load that continues to increase. And then the next thing is just our food quality is decreasing because of preservatives and enhancers, emulsifiers, synthetic vitamins, genetically modified food. Our food has less nutrition. There are pesticides, trans fats, artificial flavoring, growth hormones, and the list goes on. And when you begin to see what's going in our food, those 3 areas, what are the decisions we're making, the toxins in the air, our food quality, and then you layer on top of that the stress that we're under. We're under so much more stress than we've ever been as a society. And we've come through, hopefully through one of the most trying years ever. We've got a lot of hits against our body. And if we are not being proactive, and I love this healthy living revolution and being a part of this community. And the reason is because it constantly is reminding me that I have to be proactive with my health in light of all these negative things hitting against me. So when we think of all these things, these 4 main areas that we just talked about, what it's creating in our body is what's called oxidative stress. And that, I heard it once said by one of the doctors in our healthy living community. He said there are 2 things that will create and cause disease. It's either oxidative stress or inflammation. All disease comes back to those 2 main things. So if you're not real familiar with that term, oxidative stress, I love this picture. Picture's worth 1,000 words. So in order to combat oxidative stress, which the toxins in the air, the food that we're eating, the good food that we're not eating, the stress, the lack of sleep, the lack of exercise, all of these things are contributing toward this oxidative stress. And so if you look at the apple, all of us know you slice an apple or any fruit, what do we do to preserve and slow down that oxidation or that aging process of that fruit or vegetable? What we do is take a lemon, squeeze a lemon over an apple, and you see the difference between the side that's been treated with a lemon juice and the side that hasn't. The reason that lemon juice is protective is because fruits and vegetables have antioxidants in them. So the right side of that apple is being treated with antioxidants. So it's slowing down that oxygen, that oxidative stress, and when that oxygen hits the apple. It says that in each human cell, the DNA is hit about 10,000 times a day by these oxidants and this oxidation. And so what we want to do, the more that antioxidants that we put in our body, the slower we're going to slow down that aging and that disease process. And so sometimes people say, well, I'll just take an antioxidant supplement. Well, what research has proven is that supplements, antioxidant supplements, don't give you that kind of protection. It has to come through whole food nutrition. And if you see the lady's face, and I just love that visual, you can see the side on the left, the oxidation that has taken place over time. So I always say, you know what, if we're not worried about protecting ourselves against disease, then we can look at this protection with antioxidants by looking better and protecting how we look. And I don't know too many people who don't want to look better and slow down that aging process. So did you know that today's mass-produced produce packs a less nutritional punch? You know, there's a visual, and I should have got it because I think it says a lot, where it has a picture of 1 cup of spinach, and on the other side it has, like, I don't know, I think it's 64 cups of spinach. And the nutritional value in that 1 cup of spinach back in 1958 takes 60 some cups for the same equivalent of that nutritional value. And that's exactly what this is saying here, is that some varieties of fruits and vegetables have lost 5 all the way up to 40% of their nutrient content. And, you know, it used to be said, eat 5 a day, 5 fruits and vegetables a day. Then it went to 7, then it went to 7 to 9, and now it's up to 7 to 13. And it's because of this very fact that our nutritional value in our fruits and vegetables are being reduced. So even if we are one of those people who are eating very conscientious and trying to get those 7 to 13 fruits and vegetables in their diet a day, it's just not as, that nutritional value is not there. So we're kind of getting hit from all stages and all realms. Well, about 21 years ago, I was struggling with this. I think it's kind of like when you have kids, it at least for me, it kind of hit me that, oh my goodness, you know, it's up to me for these kids to barely survive or thrive. And that's when suddenly nutrition became very important to me. And I'm so grateful that I was introduced to a whole food concentrate called Juice Plus. And you can see that it is packed full of not vitamin supplements, but it's packed full of fruits and vegetables, exactly what our bodies need. And so to me as a parent, and just thinking about myself, I'm like, suddenly, not only do I want to get my kids healthy and make sure they stay healthy, but I got to stay healthy long enough to see them into adulthood. In Juice Plus, when I was introduced to this and saw the incredible array of fruits and vegetables in all the colors, that made so much sense to me and brought a lot of peace of mind to me. The difference, a lot of times when I'm talking to somebody and we get talking about whole food nutrition and vitamins, they have the same mindset that I had. My husband and I started taking a multivitamin, and I thought, okay, it was 1999, it was the year of health for us. So I thought that was good enough. If I exercised, I took a multivitamin, I should be good. And we found out shortly after we started taking that vitamin supplement that my husband, his iron shot up really high, almost into dangerous ranges. And the only thing we could think about was that we started taking that multivitamin. Sure enough, he got off of the multivitamin, his iron came back down in normal ranges. And suddenly that just threw me into that journey of trying to understand what whole food nutrition is. And everything, when I looked at, okay, if taking a vitamin supplement Is it what it takes to protect my body from disease, keep me strong and healthy? What is? And everything pointed back to whole food nutrition, fruits, vegetables, berries. And if you look at the left side, you'll see the fragmented vitamins and minerals that we've discovered. To date, we've discovered something like 132 minerals and, 108 minerals, 32 vitamins. But in an apple, there's over 10,000 phytonutrients. And phytonutrients are just nutrients that we don't even know what it's doing in our body, but we know that it's there and doing good. And so that's what, if we're trying to get our nutrition, our protection from a multivitamin, we are going to fall short because science hasn't discovered all the phytonutrients that are in whole food, like an apple. And if we want that detoxification, that protection, then we have to get it through our whole food nutrition and not trying to do it through a supplement. Another incredible whole food concentrate that I was fortunate enough to be introduced through Juice Plus, and that is the Juice Plus Omega Blend. You know, as for many years I struggled. Do I take excuse me, all of a sudden I just lost my train of thought. I keep wanting to say omega-3, but it was a fish oil. I would go back and forth thinking, do I want to take a fish oil? Because I felt like I knew that my body needed those omega-3s that are found in fish oils, but yet I knew there was so much toxicity when it came to fish oils. And I was so happy to find out when Juice Plus came out with their vegan omega blend. And it's not just omega-3, it's the full spectrum of the omegas, 3, 5, 6, 7, and 9, all the omegas. And it's 100% plant-based. We bypassed the fish, went straight to the algae where the omega-3 is. Why we take fish oil is because fish eat the algae. Algae has the omega-3. And Juice Plus figured out a way to bypass the middle fish, go straight to the plankton and to the algae. And so it's 100% plant-based. It's pure and sustainable. It is a full spectrum omega, cold pressed. Another thing that you have to worry about with fish oil is that it becomes rancid very easy, and you don't have to worry in regard to that with Juice Plus because it's been cold pressed and it's made in vegetarian capsules. And so that, thank you Juice Plus for this blend as well. I'm a runner, and for many years I think I just wore out my knees, and what a difference adding the omega blend has done for my health in regard to my joints. Juice Plus has a whole food label. It's unique in that it has a whole food label. It is packed with phytonutrients that we've discovered and haven't even discovered yet, because it's the whole food. It's non-GMO, dairy-free, gluten-free. I love the fact that it's NSF certified. Therefore, we've got Olympians right now taking Juice Plus, and they can, because it carries that NSF certification, which is what they need, as well as professional athletes. It has that third-party quality assurance. It has clinical research done on it, 35 published clinical studies. This sets it apart from any other, any kind of other health food supplement out there. You cannot, there's nothing, I've never seen, and I look all the time, and Juice Plus is head and shoulders. This is a list of all the universities, research centers that have researched Juice Plus. And I want you to take a look at that second to last one, Wake Forest University. If you see that right there, NIH, which is National Institutes of Health. It's the first time the federal government ever funded a research study on a whole food concentrate like Juice Plus. And that to me is significant. That research was done on head and neck cancer patients. And the impact that Juice Plus will have on an individual who has just gone through head and neck cancer. Here's what the research reveals. It improves cardiovascular wellness. It supports our immune system. You know, cardiovascular issues are the #1 health issues. And then the year that we've just gone through, supporting our immune system is huge, and we better be focused on doing that. It improves our gum tissue. It reduces oxidative stress, as I talked about earlier. It reduces inflammation. And I can't wait for you to hear my friend Shelly Black share her story about the impact that Juice Plus had on her and her son in regard to the inflammation that was going on in their body. It also protects our DNA. It gives us healthier skin. We have research on insulin resistance, abdominal fat, quality of life after cancer, and lung health. And all of these have multiple studies done on all of these categories. But I want to just kind of focus in on the inflammation, because most of us probably have inflammation going on in our body right now. And that is what will tear our body and our health down very quickly. So I'd like to just take a moment and pass the mic over to Shelly Black, and she's just going to share her journey and impact that Juice Plus whole food nutrition has had on her family's health. Shelly, take it away.
Okay, can you hear me? Okay, good evening, everyone. My name is Shelly Black, and I have been taking Juice Plus for a little over 3 years now. And back then, I think I would have considered myself to be pretty healthy. I'm a runner, and I exercise, cross-train, do a lot of exercise almost every day. And so I would have considered myself pretty healthy for the most part. Got my degree from college in exercise science, and just felt like I was on the right track. But then my son, he was playing baseball, and he had a slight injury, but that didn't seem, I don't know what happened, but he ended up, we took him to so many different doctors. He was having pain in his hips and his back so bad that affecting his everyday life. He couldn't really sit in class at school. He was literally laying on the floor sometimes in class. He would come home, he would go straight to the couch. He was just seemingly to be miserable. He was able to make it through baseball practice, but it was tough. So, I mean, we took him to every doctor you can think of, orthopedic, chiropractic, rheumatologist, a pain specialist. Nothing seemed to be helping, but we finally took him to Emory and a neurosurgeon, and they did an MRI, and he was diagnosed with something called arachnoiditis, which is it's inflammation of the arachnoid membrane in your spine. So there's no cure, there's nothing you can do for it except for pain management. So we were devastated. And we didn't want him to be on ibuprofen or any kind of pain medication going forward. And then my sister, she'd been sharing Juice Plus with me, but, you know, I didn't think it would help. I'm thinking nutrition is not his problem. But eventually, out of desperation, we didn't have any other options. So I ordered it for him. And I'm telling you, it only took 3 or 4 weeks of him taking it. And he was coming home from school, standing in the kitchen, talking with us, not laying straight on the couch. He was being able to sit longer. I mean, he couldn't even sit in the car for long periods of time without just being so miserable. So it was amazing. So I can remember telling my mom on the phone one day home from work. I was driving home from work, and I told her, I was like, yeah, I'm going to get Juice Plus for Nick, but I'm not going to take it because I don't need it. I mean, I'm healthy and I'm a runner and I don't need that. And at the same time, I'm sitting here suffering from, at that time, I had some pain in my hip. and I was going to physical therapy, and I was getting dry needling, and nothing was helping. So I was like, okay, let me try to take Juice Plus too. And then within a couple of weeks, my pain in my hip went away. So I was like, what the heck? And so I was sold on it from there. But and I'm telling you, Nick, my son Nick, he's going into his senior year at Milligan University. He's still playing baseball. He will not go a day taking his Juice Plus. He is adamant about it. He takes the complete protein shakes too, and he will tell me that he has got to take it. It's reducing his inflammation so much. It reduced the inflammation in my hip. And then like one other quick thing, last year I was helping a friend train for a marathon, and I was running a lot. And I was having a lot of pain in the back of my, and then I got an MRI, and they told me I had degenerative meniscus issues in my knee, which wasn't like a meniscus tear. It was more like, you've shot your knee, you need to find a new passion. And there was really no fixing it. So, but I didn't really want to believe that. So I came home, and I took 8 weeks off of running, and I took Juice Plus, double Juice Plus, fruits, vegetables, berries, omegas in the morning and at night for 8 straight weeks. And I cross-trained a little bit. But anyway, I'm back running again with no pain, not one single pain. I didn't do anything different. I didn't get surgery. I didn't, take anti-inflammatories or anything. So I was like, this is the best stuff ever. But my husband takes it too, and we've hardly been sick at all in the last 3.5 years. We've had little things here and there, but just this week, like, I was feeling a little bit of a cold coming on, and I took some extra Juice Plus, and then I felt great. So I was like, I don't know, it's amazing. But I just love it so much. I signed up to be a distributor too, and I just love sharing it with other people. And believe me, I was the one that said, I don't need this, and until I started taking it, I didn't know how amazing it was going to be and how much it could reduce so many types of inflammation in my body. So that's my story.
Thank you so much, Shelley, just for sharing I know sometimes when what I love about Juice Plus, I'm gonna pull back up our slideshow here. When I share Juice Plus, I love the fact that we have the science to back what we're hearing, our customers, what they're experiencing. And I love that what you saw was that reduction in inflammation as you started taking Juice Plus. And so thank you so much for sharing that with us, Shelley. Let's see, I think let's see. Well, there we go. All right, I thought it was appropriate that when I had asked Shelley, I said, would you mind just sharing your story? I love hearing just her story and her journey, and how cool it is that the very next slide comes from Dr. David Phillips, who is an All-American swimmer. He is an Ironman world champion for the Team USA. And I thought, wow, that the two kind of go hand in hand. So if we have any athletes on the call, even though, many times I think, like Shelley shared, I think athletes sometimes think that, well, I'm working out, exercising, eating right, I don't need Juice Plus. But what we don't realize is that even though exercise is incredibly important, it also creates that oxidative stress and consequently inflammation in our bodies. And so I love Dr. Phillips' quote, Juice Plus is the most researched nutritional product in the world. It optimizes health and performance at any level. And I remember it took me 7 years to get my dad to get on Juice Plus, because he kept saying, I'm healthy as a horse, I'm healthy as a horse. But we don't know. We don't feel disease coming on. We don't feel our bodies necessarily wearing out as we exercise them. We don't know when we're breathing in toxins. We don't see that stuff. And usually over time, it's when it begins to take a toll on our bodies. And so what we want to do is protect our body with the antioxidants that come through whole food nutrition. So what I want to do tonight is just simply invite you to join our community. There are 3 different ways you can just join us. And the first is be involved from a community standpoint of getting to know people like you're hearing from on the call tonight and seeing the people on the call tonight. It's people who care about people who care about health. And we have in our Healthy Living Revolution community, we have webinars from many doctors on topics across the board, different diseases that come out every month that you will have a privilege to tap into. We have cookbooks, we have Facebook groups, we have what's called our Shred community with, at the beginning of every month, a group of people will come together and we'll for 10 days focus on our health and really concentrate on kicking that new month off to a good start. And so first and foremost, we hope everyone will join our community of healthy living people and just get with the person who invited you. They can plug you in. The second thing that I would invite you to take a look at, and that is actually trying Juice Plus. You know, there's a money back guarantee. If you don't like it, you have the total freedom in that first trial phase of 4 months. You can send it back, no questions asked. But I have been sharing Juice Plus now for 21 years, and I've had one person take me up on sending their product back. That's how good it is. And I say, heck, I'll come over and buy it from you because we go through Juice Plus like it's water around here. So, but try it out. You know, what a great way to take that next step in being proactive with your health. You can start with the Trio blend, which is the fruit, the vegetable, and berry blend for $2.50 a day. You know, if you're like me, I had just quit my job. We'd lost 50% of our income. So I was pinching pennies, but I literally looked at my grocery list and I said, okay, I can find $2.50 a day. And wow, what a great decision that was back 21 years ago. We also have, as Shelley mentioned, an incredible whole food plant protein shake that she mentioned that her son Nick drinks every day. I drink it every day. Probably a lot of people on this call do. I don't know what you'd eat for breakfast if I didn't have my Juice Plus shake. A great way to get 10 more plants, whole food plants in your diet. And then also the omega, which I talked about, for $1 a day. You know, I laugh at my husband. I'm the saver, he's the spender. And I remember when we were looking at Juice Plus and I was like, boy, I really want this and I want this. And he was like, just buy it all. He's all about the buy it all package. And I love that about him. So we got started off with all of it and incorporated into our diet, but you can add whatever works for you. But we encourage you to really get back with the person who invited you tonight and just ask whatever questions. We'll stay on the call afterwards to answer any questions that you have. But what a great time to start. Just upping your nutritional game and being proactive with your health. And then the third, one more thing that I want to share that I didn't share earlier with you. One of the things I absolutely love about the Juice Plus community is they care about that next generation of kids. And what they have given us as a healthy living community is an opportunity for anybody who orders Juice Plus as an adult. You can get a child on what's called our Healthy Starts for Family program for free. So children between the ages of 4 all the way through college can get Juice Plus for free for up to 4 years. And look at the impact that Juice Plus is having on these kids. They're taking fewer over-the-counter medication. They're missing fewer days of school. They're eating more fruits and vegetables, visiting the doctor less, consuming less fast food and soft drinks, drinking more water, being aware of their health. And lastly, just reaping any kind of positive benefit. that's having a serious impact on our future. And your children can get Juice Plus for free. I don't know of any other product out there that gives that kind of offer to their customers. And so I'm going to encourage you, if you have kids, take advantage of getting on the Healthy Starts for Family program. And then lastly, we invite you to join us. You know, as Shelly was just sharing her story, I remember meeting Shelly for the first time and come into my house, and we had a gathering and just shared the information that we shared tonight. And just like she said, she didn't think she needed Juice Plus. And today when I asked her, I said, do you mind just sharing your story this evening? And I said, tell me what it was that made you decide, one, to get on Juice Plus, and then what made you to decide to join us on this mission of sharing Juice Plus with others. And she said, I saw the impact that Juice Plus had on my family and how it changed my son's life. And she said, I couldn't keep that to myself any longer. And so we just invite you to join us, jump all in and join the mission with us, at least take Juice Plus and at least take just the benefit of this healthy living revolution community and all that it has to offer. It's free for you to join and learn more about just living a healthy life and paying that forward and sharing that information that you learn with others. So thank you guys so much for being on the call. We'll go ahead and just stop the recording, and you're welcome to jump off if you